Hello and welcome to Money Making Priorities. Today, I want to talk about mindset, manifestation, and the whole part of making money and doing so consistently. I feel like I've mentioned in this podcast before that this part used to feel like, okay, what's everybody talking about with this manifestation, with this your mind and mindset? It just seemed like, okay, far-fetched, but also on intangible. And like instead of getting practical, people were being loosey goosey about what exactly to do. But once you experience it, you start seeing it everywhere, but also you start seeing what the absence of it can look like. I mean, for myself first, but also in my coaching, I see how I see how it's not that difficult to sabotage yourself, right? And it's not like you're sabotaging yourself. It's just the things you're doing or not doing because of the ways your thoughts are influencing your actions. And I think that's where people that like to be practical, like me, can see the value of mindset when you see how it translates into action or inaction. So, one very handy model that I learned in coaching is the model which was originally created by Brooke Castillo, but it's also not like she created it out of thin air. It's a derivative of cognitive behavior therapy, which is um, a widely known approach in therapy situations to help you change your thoughts, and through changing your thoughts, change your reality. So it's first that you you start with. So the model is thoughts, CTFAR, circumstance, thoughts, feelings, actions, results. So circumstance, the thing that's happening, right? Thoughts, what you're thinking about the thing that's happening. Feelings, what you're feeling about the thoughts that you're having, or the feelings that the thoughts you have creates. Um, Action, what you do because of how you're feeling. The results, what you get because of the action you took or didn't take. Let's give a practical example. So today I posted on social media about, something that's happened recently. I felt like I'm hosting an event called Capacity. If you're listening to this before March 14, 2026, you should come. If you're a service provider, a coach, a photographer, a stylist, a therapist, an accountant, you sell your services. It's for you to grow and increase your capacity to lead, to get leads, to lead yourself, to grow your business, and to get to the next level. I kind of put a tagline of see where your business could become because it's about Imagineering, taking your imagination and engineering it. I learned that one too from Walt Disney. So you should get your tickets at fopsy.ca/capacity, fopsy.ca/capacity. But coming back to the model, I had thoughts about that event because the circumstance, let's do it practically, was that I had only sold the tickets to the people that I reached out to. So I think it was 8 tickets, and eight people had bought. And I was like, I thought that my thinking around this, I'm just giving you context. So that's circumstance. I've only sold 8 tickets. Actually, let's keep going. I've only sold 8 tickets. So there's your intentional model, which is what you are actively choosing to think. But then there's your unintentional model, which is the default thoughts that you have given circumstance. The unintentional model tends to be the one that you default to, except you actively like intercept your thoughts with what you want to think. Um, I know this from using this. I should think maybe I'll go get certified in for something because I find it so useful. So thoughts, I've only sold 8 tickets. Oh, sorry, circumstance, I've only sold 8 tickets. Thoughts. Why is it that only the people that have reached out to bought tickets? I thought that I was going to have a splash after I announced it. I thought that more people would, see it and want to come. They saw it, they liked it. Why they just liking it? They okay. So all of those thoughts, right? The feelings that created. Actually, let's still stay on the thoughts. Other thoughts was like, shouldn't I be bigger than this? Like by now, sounds so silly and egoistical to say it, but like egoistical is how you say it, anyways. That word. But those were the thoughts I was having, right? And then the feelings were a bit of defeat, a bit of, "Ugh, is this even going to work? Was I like, who am I to create an event? Why did I think this was going to be a good idea? What if nobody comes?" Which thankfully I was able to counter with, girl, you already have 8 people that have bought tickets to come. But overall feeling I would say will be defeat. And I think you're often supposed to pick one thing, but anyways, defeat. And now action. What that led to was unintentionally, it was just me thinking, I was going through the motions of like posting more, talking about it, but I was still like, I was first a little bit annoyed about the results. And so I I was lacking my belief that these new things I was doing would um would lead to new results. So I was going through the motions, but like I was like, if they happen, they happen. Results, well, nobody was buying. I mean, that results because I was doing the actions, I could still have gotten results. I mean, because I mean that was the case when I was applying to jobs. Like I was just going through the motions, but by sheer numbers and volume, I was able to get a job. So that can happen. But I decided I'm going to flip it. So we just went through the unintentional model, the CTFAR. I wish I had written it down so that I would say it back to you, but you can replay. So now the intentional one, the circumstance stays the same in all scenarios, right? So circumstance is I've only sold 8 tickets, right? And I thought I would have more people by now when I announced it. So my thoughts are, okay, yay, outreach worked to people. The list I curated, I actually created a list of people that I wanted to have there, and a good number of them have bought. So yay. My feelings are okay. Thoughts is outreach is working. My feelings are okay. Yeah, I have early adopters essentially. So this is going to work. My actions are, why did you stop reaching out to the people on that list? Because you didn't finish going through the list. You reached out to a few. So now my actions are go reach out to the remaining people, right? Go reach out to the remaining people on that list. But I was there even before that, because maybe that was the thought. That was still in my thought process of why did you stop reaching out to these people? And the feeling I now had too was, although maybe it's a bit of a cyclical process here, where when I reached out, I started to feel like the power was coming back to me. Like I felt empowered. Okay, so there's stuff you can do. There's still things you haven't done that you just haven't got into that can lead to more results like this. You reached out to people, they signed up. Why can't you reach out to more people? Maybe they won't be able to make it, but they can know people that can make it, right? That makes sense. And so I did more outreach. And so that led to feelings of empowerment. The action was like, okay, all this outreach. And the result was, well, another new person bought this morning, but it was actually from somebody I had reached out to before. But I think what was influential in helping her buy was, I reflected on this in a post as well that I did. I think she must have seen it and decided to not just buy, but also to share it. I was like, hey, I'm so excited to be here. If you like, and invited people to join. My story is one of me reflecting, but I have used this exact same model inside of coaching. And I remember one person I was working with, and she said something like, well, I've never been confident in anything before. And we used the model to first of all show her areas in which she had already been very confident in her singing in the choir, and how like she was catastrophizing from not being able to, for feeling like she was not confident enough to be a VA, or didn't have enough of the skills to what she could actually do. If you don't have enough skills, there's YouTube University to learn about all these tools. It was all these tools like Dopsado and all the rest that she wanted to learn. And I'm like, most VAs don't even know every single thing. They simply know um the basics of administration and being responsive. And yes, maybe one or two tools along the way, but you're not expected to know every single tool at every point in time. And if you don't work on your mind, it would keep you stuck in thoughts that are not serving you and where you want to go. It would lead to feelings that weigh you down, and it's like a burden you're carrying on your journey. It would stall your actions, right? Or cause you to have this feeling of resentment towards the actions that you're taking, whether that is content, whether that is ads, whether that is outreach, right? Or whatever it is you're doing, whether that's networking, building partnerships. And your attitude really does matter for yourself, even for you to enjoy the journey, but then also sometimes in the results. Yes, sometimes you might be able to power through the dredge and do it enough times to get results. But most of the time, if you can't find joy doing something, it might be really hard for you to stick with it long enough to see results. In my own experience, mindset and the woo part is about also adding joy in the process so that you can know you can uh bring back the power to you who is doing the tasks. You can feel like not only am I getting the things done, but I'm doing what I want to do. I'm moving in the direction of my life. I'm showing discipline. I'm exercising control over my mind and my thoughts. There's that part, but it's also like age-old principles where the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. And so there's the connection between what you think and what you become. Whether that's because that becomes the sole dominant thoughts of your mind, and what you're looking at, you're becoming, what you're looking at, you're moving towards. When you're driving, I remember when I was learning to drive, and I don't know if I've shared this example here, my driving instructor would say, when you're diving into the next lane, just look. You don't have to like dive. And I'm doing this action with my hands in case you can't see me of like yanking myself to the right, which is what I was doing with the wheel. And she would just laugh, like, you don't have to do that, just look. And truthfully, at signal, and when I looked to the right, I mean, I would check my blind spot and all of that. As soon as you look, you start drifting towards there. So the way your thoughts shape who you are is that the thing that you're predominantly looking at, the possibility you're seeing, the impossibility you're seeing is what you're drifting towards. Whether you admit it or not, it's happening. It is happening. And so this is where it becomes all the more important for you to intentionally choose what you're looking at so that you can intentionally choose where you're going to. And it's not just by accident that you reach where you don't know. So what can you do? In the model that I went through, your circumstances don't have to change for your thoughts about them to change. Now, I had done the extreme of this where when I was freshly laid off, if you don't know my journey, I got laid off. I wanted to start a business. I spent 18 months looking for a job. Anyways, and before I finally got one, and it was in that process I started a business that I still run today. It's this coaching business. So yes, some good things came out of it, but I don't think my journey had to be as long as it was, because my first thought was, writing all the bad things that could happen during that layoff season. And I'm not crazy. It's just that I thought it was a good idea to fear set. But I think that in that process, I looked too much to how bad it could get. I looked too much to my fears. And I wish I had allowed myself to also write what was possible during that time and allow myself to use my imagination for good as well. So not only are thoughts powerful because they change how you feel, they are powerful because they determine the direction in which you move, whether consciously or subconsciously. So imagine if you intentionally planted the thoughts you wanted to think. This is going to work. Capacity is going to be filled to capacity. People are going to come. The right people are going to come, right? And that fuels your desire to do more. Okay, go invite more people. Okay, go create more content. Okay, go boost the post a bit more. Go spend more on ads. Okay, go prepare for the people that are coming, right? But also get excited for what's to come. Beyond these principles, these examples I've given to you, I hope you also can reflect on your own life and think, when have I decided I wanted to do something and that became a propellant? My husband, who's also like, not like sometimes like this mindset thing. He's the same person who creates a vision board. And by creating that vision board, you are essentially putting in front of you where you want to go. It is you implanting the thoughts you want, the direction you want, right? Even when the results in your life are not yet in the direction you want, you still put it in front of you what you want. And so I encourage you to find the path that works for you. If it's creating a vision board so that you are seeing what's in front of you, if it's choosing the thoughts you want to think through this process and repeating this to yourself daily, this is what affirmations are about. This is what declarations are about. People, whether they believe in God or they believe in the universe, they are always using words to create worlds. Words and thoughts are important. Yes, action is important, but before anything is created in the physical, it's created in your mind, it's created with your words, it's created with your thoughts. So why not intentionally plant thoughts that serve where you want your life and business to go? You will be you are perpetually capped in where you could go if you don't pick the direction before you see the reality. Like, you would just be doing things, you'll be following everybody's standard. You'll be going where everybody's going, if it's not you that is choosing where it is you want to go. So I kind of want to wrap up today saying that if you are somebody who is looking to grow in your life, looking to grow in your business, there's nothing more important than choosing the dominant thought of your mind intentionally. Intentionally choose the dominant thought of your mind. Decide, this is what I want to think about this situation. That's what I want to focus on. Decide, this is what I want to picture my future as, and do it as a picture if you want to, right? If it's words you want, use the words and repeat them to yourself. If it's pictures you want, just intentionally choose the dominant thoughts of your mind. This is literally what meditation means. It's to focus on something and to make it the dominant thought of your mind. So use this as a tool to create your world even before it's visually or physically a reality. It's been a pleasure chatting with you today. It's your girl, Fope Nkwocha. I'm a business coach. I primarily work with service providers who want to sign more high-ticket clients. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, the best way to do so is to book a sales call with me at fopsy.ca/call. On that call, we'll talk through what's happening in your business, both the mindset, the physical, the tangible pieces that are standing in your way. One of my people that I listen to was saying that there's two kinds of problems in business. There's mind drama and there's math drama. And it's often one of those things. So we'll figure out which one you're struggling with, if it's a mix of both. And because it's one-on-one, our work together is customized to you and to your stage. And you will make more in the next 12 weeks than you have all year, simply because you will have focused attention on every part of your business, especially the parts that are standing in the way of your growth. So if you are, whether you are starting, you're scaling, but you're trying to figure out how to make your business more sustainable, whether it's giving you more time, giving you more space, giving you more money, giving you more time freedom, this is working together would be a fit for us. So book that call at fopsy.ca/call. It's free of charge. And then on that call, we can decide if we're a fit for each other. Working with me, the price is also there, so it won't be a surprise or anything like that. Anyways, see you on the sales call at fopsy.ca/call. This week, don't forget, intentionally choose the dominant thoughts of your mind. Don't let it just be like a playing ground where anything that comes can stay, any thought that comes can just stay and lay eggs there. No, intentionally clear out the weeds and pick the thoughts that is dominant in your mind. And if you catch yourself spiraling, call yourself back, right? Call yourself back. Okay, yeah, we're not doing that. Enough of the mind drama. Have a lovely day. Bye.